Hello everybody, it's Alex here from 6 to go through the brand new Deathwatch Detachment that Games Workshop have dropped on us as part of the 40k Grotmas Advent Calendar. Now, I've been playing Deathwatch for a while, and it's something now that I am so happy to be getting them back out on the table as something that's not just now part of that Agents of the Imperium Codex. We have access to the entire Space Marine arsenal. Today I will be going through what they have given us and then kind of look through some of these new units that have been added, because it's not just the Black Spear Detachment. Now, as you'll see, we still have access to kill teams. They are much like they were at the start of the edition. You'll have a kill team that might have some different units in with different movement characteristics, different toughnesses. This rule here for the kill teams just kind of brings everything together as how do you deal with this as a unit on the table, and it's much as you might expect. Now, onto the detachment itself. The Black Spear Task Force is the same detachment that we had at the start of the edition. You've got the same previously, where you have to use your own chapter, and you cannot use the firstborn Space Marines that aren't themselves veterans. So what that means is no assault squads or scouts, but you do get access to all the Primaris keyword units. One of the draws for this detachment are your mission tactics. These will be kind of again, exactly as they were. So at the start of your command phase, you will be selecting one of the three of them, and that's an army-wide buff. If you go for Furor tactics, we'll get sustained hits 1 on everything. If we go to Malleus tactics, you'll gain lethals, and if you go to Pagatus on a critical hit, weapons have precision. Of these, realistically, you're only going to be using the first two here. Sustained hits or lethal hits are both really good buffs. Now, there might not be easy ways to access critical 5s on hit rolls, but with Oath of Moment back, you'll still get a good proc of all of these. So, quite happy to see those. Pagatus, every now and again, you might be able to sneak out a character in the shooting before you go to punch the unit, but definitely not one to rely on. Now, moving on from here, we go to our stratagems. This has again the same feel of what they were, but some things have been tidied up, so hopefully we don't need an FAQ again for this detachment very soon. We have everybody's favourite Armour of Contempt, and having played the Deathwatch in the Agents book, a Space Marine without Armour of Contempt feels naked, feels so weak, and just falls over to a stiff breeze, so it is great to have this back. It's the one we all know and love, but it's one we probably can't do without. Now, going into this, the Deathwatch had previously the 3 special issue ammunition types, and these are still back, as we can see. Now, Hellfire rounds is the first one. They're all for shooting, and you now select a kill team tagged unit. This is a much more useful change than you think. It means there's not going to be weird edge case scenarios of weapons they didn't anticipate and having to then drop it, say, back to the bolter type weapons only. This does mean all of these units, these guns in these units, can be used with these stratagems. Unless, of course, it's the devastating wounds, because you're gaining the anti-unit keywords of Infantry 2+ and Monster 5+. This is incredibly useful for if you need to mostly clear a bunch of chaff. It's now something like a Terminator equivalent, or the other heavy infantry like your Wraith Guards. This is really nice for just getting a bunch of damage on it. Anti-Infantry 2+ on a range of weapons with multiple damage, something like the heavy bolters, the frag cannons, or You could do it with the crack missiles on the Terminators, the plasma cannons on them, because the Terminators gained the kill team keyword. So you already can see a bunch of places that this might be useful. Moving down, we'll do the Kraken rounds next. This is the second type of ammunition, and this is the one that I like the most. You'll, again, select a kill team unit, and until the end of the phase, you'll be increasing the range and armor penetration of all your weapons by 1. You will use this so often just to knock things into rapid fire, or if you've got something like a flamer, you can move this just to get that even further range and AP. You'll clear out those screens in no time with this. Alternatively, just pop in the extra AP. A lot of weapons here have got better. So yeah, going from the AP1 to AP2, AP2 to 3, just great. I like this a lot. Another good stratagem, adaptive tactics. Interestingly, you can select to kill team or a different Astartes unit, and you get to drop back into a different doctrine. Again, lots of choices here, lots of options. Being able to go back to get your sustained hits or your lethal hits on demand, not having to use it army-wide, or if you're going to go, my army this turn is killing the infantry, however, I need something to take out a tough target, I'd like lethal hits, really useful, alongside the fact you can select 2 kill teams here. Our final kind of stratagems here, we've got another special issue ammunition for assault and ignores cover from the Dragonfire rounds. Situational, you could use this one instead of your increased AP rounds for just when you got 1 unit in cover, 1 unit in the AP. It just kind of works both ways. I could see myself using both of those every turn, but probably the detachment defining stratagem here, the site-to-site teleportation. This is uppy downy Space Marines, but with 2 units, and now there's a big difference on this. Previously it was an instant up and down. For these Deathwatch units, it's now just into strat reserves. This is amazing, where you can gain the ability to put something up and rapid ingress it again potentially. So, and additionally here, you get deep strike if you do it in your next movement phase. So something like an eradicator unit, you can now pick that up, put it down anywhere on the table, exactly where it is needed. Or something like Terminators, who have their teleport homer and the deep strike already, you can use that teleport homer outside of just the first time you're going to rapid ingress. So you don't have to, you can just leave it on the table and go, I'll rapid ingress, but not to that marker. Now, again, we have our obligatory 4 enhancements. These, named the same as they were, do pretty much the same as they were, with some tidying up based on how the game has evolved. The one that I love to use, the Thief of Secrets, is really good damage multiplier here. 1 Astartes model gets an increased strength, damage, and armor penetration. This is so good at just kind of beating a lot of breakpoints. You've the captain with a power fist going to strength 9 AP3 3 damage is really nice. But there's another perk here. If you destroy an enemy model, as a result in melee, you change the strength damage and AP by 2 better. Suddenly, this captain is an absolute beat stick. It can go on, or even just say a Terminator chaplain. Get into a little chaff unit, beat up a single Space Marine scout. Suddenly, that Crozius is swinging at 8-3-4, and that's quite tasty when you can pick him up and put him down somewhere else to do it all over again. Another really good one that I like is the Beacon Angelis. Gaining deep strike and a free rapid ingress is really strong when you can, again, use it multiple times. Something like your Apothecary Biologist in your Eradicator brick being able to pick it up, put it down with an ingress or all the time because you keep the deep strike, really good. A melee, more focused melee unit, if you want to say rapid ingress of some Blade Guard veterans in, you can do that because you can up and down multiple times, get everywhere you need. Now, the Tome of the Ectoclades here has had a change. It's still your 2 oaths kind of ability, but they have rewritten that to suit the newer oaths where you don't get a wound roll. This is just select 2 targets once per game for your full hit rerolls. Extremely powerful on that go turn when you may be going into more than one unit that's quite tough to crack. There's also the Osseous Key, and we're not going to worry about that. It's probably not good. In the start of your opponent's shooting phase, standing within 12 inches of a vehicle to give it -1 to hit, and if you're lucky, have it not shoot. It's funny when it works, but I'd rather not be standing there. Now, that is the detachment that we've got. There have been some other changes. We have unit changes. So the Terminators are back for the Deathwatch. These Terminators were like we had in the Index, where we're going to have a big mix of war gear. We can have some with the ranged weapons, power fists. We can mix in the Thunderhammer Storm Shield ones, and regardless of the size of the unit, be that a 5 up to 10, we get 3 heavy weapons, and they gained that kill team keyword to use special issue ammunition. Now, I like this unit a lot. You've got your 5-man units running around. That feels really good, particularly when the kind of Terminator abilities have been meshed together into the Terminator's Assault. Your unit gains both reroll all charges, and when you end a charge move, you will be forcing battle shock tests. This plays really nicely with an uppy downy, with rapid ingress, just getting them to both shoot and fight with lots of heavy weapons and a good melee threat. The next kind of unit we've got on the list is our Talon Strike kill team. This is our mix of your jump pack assault intercessors and inceptors. Now, thing to note is all of the following kill teams currently have points values only for a 10-man unit. So they can be unwieldy, but they are going to use your stratagems very well and be nice hammer pieces. The Talon Strike is built up of 5 jump pack assault intercessors up to the 10, and then you can mix in up to 5 inceptors. So probably 5 assault intercessors, 5 inceptors, and the inceptors can take anything of between the bolters and the plasma as you wish. Their ability of Talon Strike Doctrine is really powerful. You gain, on the turn you set up in the battlefield, an increased AP by 1 on all weapons ranged and melee, and your melee weapons gain lance. This is really tasty for just dropping down, say with a captain for the reroll charges, and just murdering 2 units. Send the plasmas off one way, charge another with a rerollable charge. If you make the 9-inch charge, it's great. Alternatively, drop the character and just have them gun things. You have uppy downy inceptors still. The next 2 kill teams on the list we're going to be doing as a Fortis and Domitus. So these are your kind of intercessor-based kill teams. The Fortis is the kind of Tacticus armored ones, so you have regular infantry. The Indomitor kill team is your Gravis armor, the heavy ones. Now, for all of these, the bolt weaponry has been increased and made a lot stronger. So we're going for all of these are now going to be to strength 5 and an additional AP and lethal hits. So your kind of Tacticus, your regular intercessor, going at strength 5 AP2 lethal hits with assault heavy and a special issue ammo is quite tasty, particularly with this kill team where you can go from 3 or more intercessors and add in a mix of Hellblasters, Infernus Marines, and a pair of Desolation Marines. This is quite nice. So you can have your bolters with some Hellblasters mixed in. You can go all out anti-infantry with some Infernus Marines. You can add assault intercessors, but this is a shooty unit. The doctrine, the ability here is niche, kind of okay. You can throw a grenade to proc the +1 to hit for when the target is below starting strength, and you also gain a +2 wound if the target is below half strength. It's fine. There's better ones out there. But we move to the Indomitor kill team, which I really, really like. This is your 4+ heavy intercessors and adding in up to 3 aggressors or eradicators into the unit. In here, you'll be able to get to your 2 heavy bolters because you'll have a 10-man unit, and these now are so scary. You're getting your shots with your sustained, your lethals, their strength 5 AP2, 3 damage. You can get the extra AP again on the special issue ammunition, so you can have these AP3 kind of bolt gun, damage 3 guns. The bolt rifle is AP2, damage 2. They're all lethal hits. And the ability here, I really, really like it. You've got something like, you've got +2 strength if you shoot the closest enemy unit, and +2 strength if you made a charge move that turn. It's a really nice set of breakpoints, going from strength 5 to 7, or with the bolt guns, your melters, if you take the eradicators, going up to strength 11. It's really quite tasty. And the same in melee, if you've taken the aggressors, getting to that strength 10 is a nice breakpoint. The last kill team that we have is the Spectrus kill team. This same one gets the same bolt weapons, kind of increased AP strength, and you gain lethal hits on it. So there is some damage coming out, but essentially it's a basic bolt gun still by the time someone's in cover and you don't want to spend a stratagem. This is a mix of infiltrators, eliminators, incursors, and reavers. But the thing about this is they gain both the infiltrate and the scout ability from the data sheets mixed together. It's tasty. And then you can add an uppy downy on themselves, so you could get even more uppy downy in this list by having that scout's ability at the moment, where if you're 6 inches away from an enemy unit, you can pop yourself into strat reserves. You can add a lone op with the Phobos Librarian into this unit. My only thing is with this unit, it's a lot of points for if you're going to use it as a utility unit, and not a lot of damage to be a hammer piece. So it's interesting, but the other units that are new are all really nice and interesting. I can't wait to try some of this out, and I would like you to let me know what you think. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about the Deathwatch. Are you going to use them in this Black Spear detachment? Are you going to see maybe if there's play with these kill teams in some of the other Space Marine detachments that we've had? Just let us know and give some feedback on this, my first video for the 6++ on my own. Please check out the rest of the content on the 6++ YouTube. If you are able, become a YouTube member. That's amazing for us, allows us to make more of these videos. Thank you very much, and goodbye.